Mia, what a pleasure to see you. Let's talk more broadly about ISIS working to recruit women and children. How do we know about how many of them have actually heeded this call?
Well, we don't have exact numbers. We know approximately 10% of the foreign fighters are female. And so if the estimate is 15,000 foreign fighters, my guess would be about 1,500 women, and so on. There have been disproportionate numbers of women coming from the UK precisely because of this one woman that you've profiled on your show, Aqsa Mahmood, who's known as Laith. And Laith was on Twitter just last week with one of the girls who disappeared. So my worry is not that they've gone to rescue one of their friends, but that they've been lured to ISIS to be jihadi brides like Aqsa Mahmood.
And let's talk about these little kids in this video. I mean, it's just terrifying to see them. And there are a lot of them in this video. Who are these kids?
I would say disproportionately, these would be the children of the foreign fighters who have gone with their entire families. What for me is telling is that ISIS in the past has said that they do not train anyone under the age of 16, and clearly we see that they've lied. These are, 6 and 7 and 8-year-old children, and this is consistent with what I've seen when I've done my research in Pakistan, that the TTP does the same thing. They coerce the children, they brainwash them, they train them, and then they actually use them while they're still very young.
I want to briefly change topics and ask you about these threats of the Mall of the America, among others. Do you think that the AlShabaab can actually pull something like this off?
Well, again, and I'm just going to give you my opinion on this.
Sure.
I was at the White House last week, and I was there with the Minneapolis pilot program, and I can tell you that the work that has been done in Minneapolis is years ahead of the other cities, in part because of the threat of al-Shabaab. And so the work that has been done by Senators Klobuchar and Senator Al Franklin, reaching out to the community. What I saw was the Attorney General, Andrew Lugar, embracing the Somali imam. That Somali community is going to be very resistant to radicalization in terms of acts of terrorism at home, because they've done a really good job in terms of integrating them. Now, the Somali community in Canada is not nearly as well integrated, so I'd be more worried about Edmonton than I would be about Minnesota.
Mia Bloom, always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for being with me this morning.